Hi there. I'm so happy you are here. Today, I want to tell you a story that might help you in many ways. It's not a story about a hero or someone famous. It's about a normal person, someone like you, who had a simple dream. This person wanted to learn English, not for school or tests, but for something more personal, something deep in the heart. If you ever felt afraid to speak English, or thought it was too late to start, this story is for you. You will improve your English while listening. But more than that, you might find the courage to try again. Please take a deep breath, relax, and enjoy the journey. This is not just learning English. This is about changing your life. His name is Tom. He is 34 years old and lives in a small, quiet town near the mountains with his mother and little dog. Tom works at a local supermarket. He is a kind person. Customers like him because he always smiles and listens carefully. But Tom has a secret. For many years, he wanted to speak English. He didn't tell many people, but it was his dream. He wanted to travel, to meet new people, and to understand songs and movies without subtitles. But he was always too afraid. In school, Tom was shy. He didn't like speaking in front of the class. When he made mistakes, other students laughed. That pain stayed in his heart for many years. Even after school, he remembered the feeling of shame and fear. So he stopped trying. He told himself, maybe English is not for me. Maybe I'm just not good at languages. But deep inside, the dream was still there. Every time he watched a movie in English, he thought, what if I could understand this? Every time he met a tourist in his town, he smiled but stayed quiet. He wished he could say something, even just hello. One night, Tom sat alone in his small room. The wind was strong outside. He held a notebook in his hands and sighed. He wrote down one sentence, I want to speak English. He looked at the words for a long time. Then he smiled, just a little. It was not a big moment, no music, no lights, but it was the start, the very first step of a new journey. The next day, Tom searched on his phone. How to learn English at home. He found many tips, many videos, many ideas. Some of them looked too hard. Some looked too expensive. But one idea caught his attention. It was called self-talk. The idea was simple. You talk to yourself in English every day. You don't need anyone else. Just you and your voice. Tom felt shy even thinking about it, but he decided to try. He closed his door, looked in the mirror, and said, hello, my name is Tom. His voice was quiet. He felt strange, even silly, but he kept going. I live in a small town. I work at a supermarket. I like dogs. He smiled. I like pizza. I like music. I want to learn English. His heart beat fast, but he didn't stop. Every night after work, Tom did self-talk. He talked about his day. Today was busy. A woman dropped apples. I helped her. He made mistakes. Many mistakes. Sometimes he laughed at himself. But for the first time, he felt free. No fear, no judgment. 1 month passed. Then 2. Tom's voice grew stronger. He started to enjoy talking to himself. He even used new words he learned online. One evening, his mother asked, are you talking to someone? He smiled and said, just myself, in English. She laughed and said, good, keep going. That moment gave Tom a little more confidence, just a little more. After 2 months of talking to himself, Tom felt ready for more. He wanted to try listening and speaking with real voices, not just his own. He found a video online. A man was speaking slowly and clearly. It was called Shadowing Practice. Learn English with Stories. Tom didn't know what shadowing meant, but he watched the video. The man said, repeat after me, don't stop. Don't worry, just follow. So Tom repeated, word by word. He didn't understand everything. His tongue felt heavy. His brain felt slow, but he didn't give up. Hello, my name is David. I live in New York. Tom followed. Hello, my name is Tom. I live in South Village. He laughed. That's not New York, but he kept going. He shadowed the next sentence, then another, and another. Shadowing was hard. His mouth got tired. Sometimes he forgot the sentence. Sometimes he mixed the words. But he liked the rhythm. Every day, Tom shadowed for 10 minutes. Just 10. He told himself, small steps, no pressure, just enjoy. Some days, he was tired from work. He wanted to skip it. But then he remembered, if I stop now, I will lose the habit. One morning, he tried shadowing in the kitchen. His dog looked at him with big eyes. Tom smiled and said, I'm not crazy, I'm learning. That day, he shadowed a short story. It was about a man who learned English to travel the world. Tom listened closely. The story made him dream. He closed his eyes and imagined speaking to people in airports, restaurants, and busy streets far away. That night, he opened a new page in his notebook. He wrote Dream Speak English with a real person before the end of this year. It was June. He had 6 months. Tom felt nervous but excited. He didn't know how it would happen, but he wanted to try. The next day, he tried something new. He read about a method called the 3-pass method. It was for listening practice. The rule was, first listen with no subtitles, then listen with subtitles, then listen again without them and repeat. He chose a short video. The first time, he understood maybe 5 words. He felt bad. Am I this bad? He asked himself. But then he listened again with subtitles. Oh, that's what they said. He repeated slowly, then again, faster. After 20 minutes, something changed. He listened again. He understood more. Not everything, but more. Enough to smile. Tom used this method 3 times a week. He chose funny videos, simple stories, and short interviews. He kept a list of new words. He didn't memorize them, just looked at them often, like friends. Comfort, bakery, tired, nervous, excited, proud. He liked those words. One evening, he shadowed a video in the park. The birds were singing. The air was fresh. He felt light and free. Why didn't I start this years ago? He asked himself. But he didn't feel regret, just joy for this moment. He met a boy in the park. The boy had a soccer ball. Tom asked, "Can I play?" The boy nodded. They played for 15 minutes. Before leaving, Tom asked, "What's your name?" The boy smiled. "Lucas," Tom said. "Nice to meet you." "Lucas?" The boy laughed. It was a small moment, but Tom spoke in English, in real life, with a real person. Even just one sentence, it mattered. That night, Tom wrote in his notebook, "Today, I spoke English outside. I was nervous, but I did it, and it felt amazing." 3 months passed. It was now September. The air was cooler, the days were shorter, and Tom was still learning English every single day. He didn't skip, not once, even on bad days. Even when he was tired, he still opened his notebook or turned on a video. His self-talk got longer. "Today I helped a man find eggs. He said thank you." I smiled. I was tired but happy. His shadowing improved. He could repeat longer sentences now. His mouth felt more relaxed. His brain started to understand faster. He noticed something strange. When he watched a movie, he didn't always need subtitles. He started catching words naturally. One evening, he watched an English cartoon. He laughed at a joke without reading the text. That small moment felt like magic. Tom stood up and said out loud, I understood that I really understood that his dog barked, maybe to say congratulations. The next day, he met a tourist in the supermarket. A woman from Canada asked, Do you know where the milk is? Tom felt nervous. His hands shook, but he took a breath and said, Yes, aisle 3, next to the orange juice. The woman smiled and said, Thank you. Tom nodded, heart racing. After she left, he whispered, I did it. I really did it. He wrote the story in his notebook that night. He underlined the words I did it. Then he drew a small smiley face beside them. Something changed inside him. His fear was still there, but smaller. His confidence was growing, one little step at a time. He decided to set a new goal. Have a full conversation in English with a stranger. 5 minutes, no help, no translation. He felt scared just thinking about it, but goals helped him focus. He taped that sentence to his wall above his desk. To prepare, he started talking more during self-talk. He pretended he was in a real conversation. What do you do? I work at a supermarket. He used the 3-pass method with longer interviews. He wrote down questions and answers. He practiced them over and over again. Then, Saturday morning, he joined an English Zoom event. It was for beginners. People from all over the world joined in. He didn't turn on his camera, just his microphone. His hands were shaking, but he said, Hi, I'm Tom, from South Village. The teacher smiled and said, Hi, Tom. Nice to meet you. Can you tell us one thing you love doing? Tom froze. For 2 seconds, maybe 3. Then he said, I love walking in the park. It helps me feel peaceful. Everyone said, Nice or, That's great. Tom, he smiled so big it hurt his cheeks. He stayed in the call for 20 minutes. That evening, he walked in the park alone. The leaves were red and yellow. He looked up at the sky and said softly, Thank you. Thank you to the videos. Thank you to the people online. Thank you to himself for not giving up when it was hard. He met Lucas again, the boy from before. This time, he tried something new. Lucas, do you want to learn English with me? The boy laughed and said, Why? Tom smiled. Because it's fun. Lucas nodded. Okay, just a little. They learned one word, tree. They pointed to a tree and said together, tree. Then to a flower, flower. Then to the sky, sky. They laughed and played soccer again. Later, Tom wrote in his notebook, I taught one word today, just one, but it felt like I gave someone a gift. Tom no longer felt like a student. He was still learning. Yes, but now he also felt like a person who could give something back. It was October. The weather was cold and gray. Tom still studied English, but something in his heart felt different, like a quiet storm inside. At work, things changed. A new manager came. He was strict, fast, and didn't smile. Tom felt more tired after every shift. One evening, the manager shouted at him for a small mistake. Tom nodded and said nothing, but his heart felt heavy all night. He didn't study English that night. He lay on his bed, staring at the ceiling. What's the point? He whispered to the dark. The next morning, he opened his notebook, but he couldn't write. His hands felt heavy. His mind said, why try? Nothing is changing. For 1 week, he didn't do self-talk. No shadowing, no videos, no notebook. Just work, eat, sleep, repeat.
Speak
He felt
simply,
angry at
it's
himself.
easy.
Am I quitting again? I always quit. I'm just pretending to change, but I can't. Then, on Sunday morning, he cleaned the living room. Under the sofa, he found a paper, his goal note, speak for 5 minutes. He sat down. He stared at the paper. He remembered the Zoom call, the woman at the supermarket, and the words sky with Lucas. He closed his eyes and said out loud, "Don't forget who you were becoming. Don't let one bad week erase 5 good months." He opened his phone and played an old video, his favorite one. It was the first shadowing video he ever watched. As he listened, something clicked inside. The voice was familiar. The words were slow and kind. It felt like meeting an old friend. He repeated the first sentence. His voice cracked. He tried again, louder, stronger. "My name is David. I live in New York." His dog barked from the kitchen. Tom smiled. Yeah, I'm back," he said softly, almost laughing with tears in his eyes. That evening, he walked outside. The air was cold, but fresh. The trees had lost many leaves. He took a deep breath. He looked up at the dark sky. "I want to keep going," he whispered. "Even if it's slow, even if I fall again." The next day, he went back to self-talk, just for 5 minutes. He talked about his weekend. "I cleaned. I rested. I found my paper." He also did one short video with shadowing. He couldn't finish it all, but he did 5 minutes. That was enough. He learned a new phrase from the video. Start small, but never stop. He wrote it on his wall, right under his old goal note. Tom didn't feel perfect. He didn't feel strong, but he felt honest. And that was enough to take the next small step. At work, nothing changed. The manager was still cold. But Tom started repeating positive sentences quietly during breaks. "I am patient. I am growing. I can speak English. I'm not perfect, but I'm trying." And that means something. One evening, after a long shift, he opened his notebook again. He read all the pages. The first line made him cry. "I want to speak English." It felt like meeting his younger self, scared but brave. He smiled and whispered, "We're doing it." December came. The year was ending. The air was cold and fresh. Tom looked out the window and thought, this year was different. He didn't become fluent. He didn't travel to another country. But something big had changed something deep inside his heart and mind. He no longer said, "I can't." He now said, "I'm trying." That small change made everything feel possible, even on hard days. One Saturday, Tom went to a holiday market in the city. He walked alone, holding a warm drink, listening to English songs in the air. At one stall, he heard a man speaking English. The man looked lost. Tom stepped forward and said, "Do you need help?" The man turned and smiled. "Yes, actually. Do you know where the train station is?" Tom answered without thinking. "Yes, go straight, then turn right." The man said, "Thank you," and walked away. Tom stood still. His heart was beating fast. Then he smiled, slow and proud. He whispered to himself, "That was real. That just happened." He looked at the sky and laughed softly. "I spoke English today." Again, back home, he opened his notebook. He wrote December 16th, "I helped someone in English. I was nervous, but I did it anyway." Then, on the next page, he wrote a message to himself. 5 simple lessons in big, clear letters. Lesson 1. Speak to yourself. You are your first teacher. You don't need permission to begin. Lesson 2. Shadow with your heart. Repeat with feeling. Let the rhythm become your friend, not your fear. Lesson 3. Listen in 3 steps. First, without text. Then with text. Then again, without. 1 step at a time. Lesson 4. It's okay to stop, but always return. One bad day doesn't erase all your good days. Lesson 5. You are enough. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep going. He read the 5 lessons again, then one more time. He closed the notebook and placed it near his bed like a small treasure. Before sleep, he turned off the light and said one last sentence in English. I'm proud of myself. And he truly meant it. The next morning, he wrote a short message and posted it online. It said, I learned English at home, slowly, with self-talk, shadowing, and love. He didn't expect anything, but many people wrote back. Thank you, they said. I feel the same. I needed to hear this today. Tom realized something important. He wasn't alone. Many people around the world were also learning, also struggling, also starting again. So he decided to share more, not just his progress, but his feelings, his small wins, his real journey, honest and simple. He became a light for others, just like those first videos were a light for him. He didn't feel like a student anymore. He felt like a story, a living, breathing story that could inspire someone else to speak their first sentence without fear. So now, this story comes to you, from Tom to me, from me to you, a reminder that it's never too late to begin. If you are afraid, that's okay. If you feel slow, that's normal. If you made mistakes, welcome to the club, we all do. But if you listen and speak and try again tomorrow, you are already learning. You are already growing. You are already on your way. This is your turn now. Start today,